Hello and welcome to Nishkam's Sociology department. My name is Miss Silvera and I am the head of Sociology as well as the main teacher of the subject in the school. So at the moment this is where we're located, a classroom by the sports hall. Coronavirus has had an impact on all of us, and this is just one of the impacts that we need to ensure that our students are safe and that our members of staff are safe. So we've been given a new place where we can socially distance whilst learning. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we will be back to the main building in our normal classroom soon, fingers crossed. So, what can we expect from sociology? Well, I think the first thing is to understand that sociology is a broad subject. And by broad, I don't mean that we study everything. I mean that when students come to study sociology, they have to have an open mind to some of the debates that we are going to have in the subject and in particular during lessons. And debating is definitely something that I encourage during lessons because it helps students develop their critical understanding, their ability to argue well in a way that is academically sound, their ability to articulate an opinion and ground that opinion in social facts and theory. So also, as well, by an open mind, it is by no means my expectations that students take on the views of the theories that they use or that they learn. It's more that they become aware of these ideas. So there's definitely no need for students to internalize these ideas. Um, when we think about sociology, we tend to think about it as the study of society, which part and parcel, yes, it is. Broadly speaking, it is a study of society, but it kind of is a little bit more than that. It's studying society in a particular type of way, using social research, using theoretical and conceptually sound ideas in order to come to an academic judgment about the world that we're living in. So it's really vital that students during lessons are engaged in sound debate, not just giving an opinion because this is what I believe, but giving an opinion because that opinion is grounded in some kind of knowledge, grounded in some kind of research, or grounded in some kind of current affair, or such as the pandemic and the impact of globalization as to why we've ended up in a state of this pandemic. So, in that sense, sociology is broad in terms of what we look at and what we debate, but the tools that we use to debate and assess the world around us are very specific within sociology. So here is an overview of the course. We have compulsory units and we also have option units, which are known as our topic units. So our topic units at Nishkam are families and households and beliefs in society. And our compulsory units are education with method and context and theory as well, alongside crime and deviance. So if we pay attention to this part of the curriculum map, what we see are the three papers that students will sit at the end of the 2 years of the course. This is a linear course, so students will be assessed after the 2 years of being on the course. Now, each paper is equally weighted. Each paper is 2 hours long as well. Now, if you wish to look at the specification in more depth, you can visit the AQA website. Here are our course codes for the AS year 1, and our course code for year 2. So let's just take a look at one of the topics, for example, crime and deviance that we study. And this is towards the end of the second year course. Crime and deviance essentially begins by looking at what we consider as a society to be criminal behaviour and what is the difference between behaviour that is criminal and behaviour that is deviant. And who actually gets to decide the difference, or who gets to decide that something is actually criminal? We look at potentially what factors drive individuals to commit crime. Are these factors social? Could it be somebody's social class? Could it be their access to education, their access to jobs, or lack of access to a good paying job? Is it someone's ethnic origin? Is it someone's gender that propels them into a life of crime? Now, debating these ideas doesn't necessarily mean that these ideas are true. The job of the sociologist is to weigh up an argument and to see which side of the argument is more truthful than the other side of the argument. Oftentimes, this requires us to have a balanced view of the world. So, not having extreme views, but more of a balanced idea of how the world operates. And again, this means a certain level of maturity. And this is why we kind of reserve this topic more towards the second year, when students do develop the foundations of sociology and how to assess the world around them. When we think about crime, we also think about how crime is happening in contemporary society, modern day society, and compare that to how crime happened in less modern society back in the day. How did crime happen? And is it the same? And if it's changed, why has it changed? What has been the factors that have led to crime and the way that we commit crime and the way that we police crime changing? Could globalization be a factor? Could the rise of certain technology be a factor that a lot of crime now is committed online? So not even person-to-person crime, but virtual crime. What we find is that a lot of students who study sociology do go on to study law. A lot of students who study sociology, they also go on to study politics and get involved very much so in governance and social policy making. At the foundation of sociology is research. So we do teach students a lot of the social research skills needed to test an idea, to generate a report, and then to publish that report. And the importance of how your published data can have an impact on social policy, and also have an impact on law later on. So sociologists tend to find themselves in careers where they are able to use these research skills. Um, the civil service is definitely an area in which sociologists find themselves working, particularly in research and development. Again, supporting government to inform social policy on education, on crime, how to prevent crime, on the family, the best mechanisms to support a family that's struggling. We do a lot of research around the welfare system and the NHS, and how we can make the NHS better for all our citizens. So careers that utilize the skills in sociology can be broad, but then they can also be very specific, like social work, like I said, research, journalism as well. I have a degree in politics with sociology, so the two tend to complement each other quite well. And my specialism is actually in international relations. So again, we do get a lot of sociologists going into law, and possibly not national or local law and politics, but more international law and politics as well. So subjects that tend to complement sociology is psychology, most definitely, because of the research element, and also because of the social aspect of psychology as well, where lots of sociologists do well in the social units of psychology, because they're able to draw on the skills and the knowledge that they've built while studying sociology. Geography is also a topic that complements sociology very well, and this is because we study demography, which is the study of population, how a population grows, how a population shrinks, the different things that make up a population. Is our population getting older? Is it getting younger? We look at birth rates, death rates, fertility rates, and what that means for law, what that means for social policy as well. So again, a broad-ish subject, but there are instances where students will become specialists in a certain field of study if they want to use sociology in the future. So, what would I expect from an excellent sociology student? The first thing is a level of maturity, to know that a lot of the topics that we study sometimes can be sensitive topics. Therefore, we would have to discuss them in a way that is sensitive, in a way that is considerate of the people that we're talking about or the institutions that we talk about. We speak about issues such as racism, we speak about issues such as sexism, and so it's also quite important that students understand what is the appropriate language to use when speaking about such controversial topics. That being said, we also expect students to be curious, very curious about the world around them and why the world operates in the way that it operates. So asking a lot of questions and not accepting things at face value. We expect students to be well read. So we expect students to be engaged in reading material that teaches them about the world. So this could be books, history books, it could be newspaper articles, it could be journal articles, but we do expect students to kind of move away slightly from from fictional stuff into non-fictional reading. Reading about the law in particular, and looking at the economy and what is going on in the economy in order to assess some of the theories and relate them to what's going on in the world around us today. So we do expect a certain level of social awareness in our students. We expect students to be good researchers, and again, this is the bread and butter of sociology, not just the theory stuff, but the research stuff. It is great that we all have opinions, but are those opinions informed by research? And that's the main thing, students knowing the difference between, yes, I can have my opinion and my views of something, but it doesn't make it sociological until it's informed by theory, informed by research. So here are some of my current year 13's views, perceptions about the course. I think a lot of them enjoy the debating, very much so, but I'd have to say that a lot of my students are very curious students. Again, they have questions about the world and they need those questions answering, and that often leads to a debate. And it's something that I encourage because it encourages good reasoning skills, it encourages good problem solving skills, and good communication skills as well. All of these things that students require, not only for university, but for the world at large to be successful, is to be able to communicate ideas and opinions well to your audience. So it's definitely something that students enjoy, the debating side of sociology. So I know that was a brief kind of whistle-stop tour of sociology. I hope that the information that I provided has given you some taster of what the course could potentially look like for you as a student. If you have any questions, please let me know and I will do my utmost best to answer those questions. I wish you all the best for 2020, and hopefully I will see you at Nishkam School, and specifically in my sociology class in September 2021. Take care and all the best.